Oh. So the patio project's coming along nicely, and the last thing that we're gonna do is build a pergola. And by pergola, I mean like something kind of like a pergola, because Sam's got like a little bit of a different vision for what he wants here, but we're gonna build it with the same processes as a pergola. We're just gonna have a couple posts and give us a little bit of overhead visual stuff. And it should be pretty cool, and definitely gonna be one of those experiential builds that we all get to learn from. So first things first, we gotta set some posts. So we've got our post locations kind of picked out, and we're gonna be using these brackets from Simpson Strong Tie. We worked with them on the deck, and we are big fans of their products. What we're gonna do is mark where we're gonna be actually fixing all of our posts into, and then these have a little bit of play in them that'll allow us to adjust after we get the beams set. So first thing we're gonna wanna do is plow some holes in there to fit these big old, these look like what, 3/4 inch lag bolts made by Simpson into the concrete. We're gonna set our height relative to the height Sam's looking for. Instead of pre-cutting them, we can run a chalk line across with a level on the chalk, and that should just make sure that if there's any slope or any taper in the ground, things are nice and plumb.
Hands out.
It's looking plumb my side. What the f are you doing? Hold this.
Okay.
That bubble.
Yes. To be like 8 feet basically to the top.
Got it?
Yeah.
Jordan. Jordan. All right, so Sam's looking for a specific height on this project, so we temped up one of our cross members here. Everything's temped up right now, just to give us a frame of reference and also a visual representation. We're pretty close to the level, so Jordan's gonna nudge that side up a bit. He's gonna grab a piece of scrap and kind of just butt it up in the air. Grab a piece and just tap it up. We'll mark the tops, take the posts down, and then we're gonna build the whole front assembly first. It's called a bent, I think, and then we'll build the whole back one and kind of do the same process, since everything for this project specifically is going to kind of need to be relative. If you were building something that was on a perfectly flat surface that you were going to actually make a perfect square, you could probably get away with pre-cutting everything to height.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Yeah, world's strongest man, Jordan Hyder, coming in with the 6x6 carry.
You'd have to go Pete in women's, and you'd still lose. All right, so one thing I did was I marked the face when we did our mock-up to make sure the same way is facing out. Now we should be able to just make sure the bracket's basically as close to centered as we can get it. Then we're gonna use these structural wood screws that Simpson makes with these nice decorative washers. These things are pretty slick. All you need is an impact driver, so let's get the buzzing.
Catch me on Jersey Shore, season 5.
So before we go ahead and put any of these header boards up, or beams as I think they're called, we're gonna cut the decorative edge. We're just gonna do a return, like dog ear back. So we'll set up a little stop block here and then just zip, zip, and then we'll get these things hammered in. So we're running carriage bolts in order to fasten these beams across, which means we gotta run some pre-drill. I just marked them out. We're gonna stub this in.
Gotta see how to that's football coach thing.
So same order of operations here, except we're gonna have trees in the way. But we're gonna cut the dog ears and we're leaving these at the length they are. We're gonna use the overhang over here to lay our lattice on top, which is where things get kind of squirrely. Like I said, we're building this a little bit custom. So dog ears, and then holes, and holes and holes, and holes and posts, and then boards and holes and posts and holes.
Sorry, Ben. Hands clear.
So kids, one, everyone in Pleasant Hills cuts their grass middle of the day at the hottest hour. Two, they didn't have anything in 20 foot that wasn't a super wide board. So we're gonna rip down all of these 10 inchers to give ourselves our 4.5 inch width that we're looking for all of our crossbars on the top. This is gonna suck.
We got the two sides put up. So now that we have it sort of plumb square level where we want, we don't want these to be all super long and shit. So what we're gonna do, take the old square, now we can cut this off, and then we can do that on each one. And so there'll be a consistent stick out with the angle of the sky.
So we've got these little black L brackets, which we're going to use to fasten all these in. We're going to start out with our outside, and then we'll work our way in so we have perfect spacing. Now that that's in, Jordan can push this to plumb, and then Sam can do the same on his side. So day 2 on the pergola. Yesterday we made actually more progress than we were anticipating. We've got everything is up square and plumb to the best of our abilities with the shape that we're going with. Because we've already set the distance from the outsides of where those boards are going to be, we can now use the distance of that gap, which is 143 inches. We know we're going to have 16 cross members going across, and all of those are 1.5 inches thick. 16 times 1.5 is 24. So we can subtract the 24 inches from the 143, which leaves us with roughly a 7.5 inch gap between 7.45. So we can cut 2 spacers to 7.45 inches, and then we can work our way out from each board. We'll get everything fastened up, and then what we're gonna do is run a chalk line to make it easy on this side. It's just like building a deck, at least that's how we're approaching it. And if we take the distance from here and the distance on that side, it'll give us a nice perfectly straight line coming across. We'll use those for references to cut all of our dog ears. Love dogs and their ears. We'll use that to cut all these, and it should make things quicker. It sounds like a little bit more work to put them up and pull them down, but we really think that this is gonna be the most efficient way. So first thing we've gotta do is rip down the rest of our 2x10s. Essentially, like I said, we've got a spacer here that we're just lining up our boards, and then we're gonna go down. I've got marks on both sides that are letting me know where to land this ear, and these are already cut. It makes it just go faster when I can just line that up to the end. Boom, hit a spacer here. Sam can then on his side do the same thing. We'll screw them in, and then because we'll mark them, everything can just go straight back up, which will save us a bunch of time. So the math I just told Jens was slightly wrong. I did it incorrectly in that I used 16 gaps, which would need 17 boards, instead of doing 16 boards, which would only need 15 gaps. So we're about 1/2 inch off. I caught it halfway through. So the fix is we're gonna move our last board in. If it looks stupid, we'll get another board, rip it down, and just throw another one up there before we run all of our edges. It's good to double check your math as you're working, because sometimes we're just dumb. Bam.
Because it gets shorter, I have to remark this one, and then we're gonna run a chalk line across all of them, and that way we'll be able to get a nice crispy line. You leave everything long and then cut them all at the same time.
So one thing you wanna make sure you do if you're gonna do something like this is mark all of your boards on the same side. If you go left and right, the angle discrepancy is gonna throw things off. We're just gonna, while we have these up here, trace them down.
Almost killed everybody.
His safety glasses wouldn't work.
She done. She's shady. It's significantly cooler under here.
Okay, so the next thing we want to do, we're gonna add, these are called a knee brace. Gives a little bit of support and racking in this direction, and they look cool.
Not to be confused with inebriated.
In the perfect world, we countersink these and run them in a little bit different, but this will work perfectly fine for this. Boom! And that's gonna be a wrap on this thing, I think. Besides stain, which Sam's gonna do in the fall, let this womanized lumber dry out a bit because it won't take stain right now. That's gonna be it, really simple. Now I guess the only thing left to do is pick some winners. Let's go. We are back in the shop and we are ready to pick our winners. Ridiculously enough, we had over 25,000 comment entries in this giveaway and 13,000 email entries.
That's
Yin's rule.
amazing.
And the only way we found appropriate to choose our winners is gonna be from my old Steeler helmet. So we're picking the 4th place winner first, and that person is going to be Jordan. What's that say?
I can't read.
It says Joseph Wang. Joseph Wang. Number 4. 3rd place, Jalen Tate. Oh. Congratulations, Jalen. 2nd place, Chris Chartrand. And our 1st place winner, number 1, taking home whatever girl they want, is Tyler Stevens. If your name popped up, you're one of those winners. Send us an email, please, to ben@johnmalecki.com, and we'll get you your prize pack. Now, don't forget, guys, number 1 winner gets a pick, then 2, then 3, and then number 4 gets the prize pack. So, congratulations. Thank you all for entering. Now, let's get back to some of that buttery B-roll. And that's gonna be a wrap on this whole series. I think Sam likes it.
I absolutely loving this. My wife, I sent her a little sneak preview and she is over the moon with it. We did sneak in a little pizza party before this part was done and everybody loved it. Thank you, John, and thank you, PITBOSS. I'm deeply indebted to both of you for this amazing project.
Super stoked, gave a bunch of stuff away. And if you guys missed any of the parts of this series, there's 6 parts. I've got a whole playlist queued up right here. You can check them all out, and we'll see you on next year's summer series, hopefully.